and my life was in dismay. For among evil forces in which I played, guns and ammunition were my chosen way of life. With God-fearing people I chose to strive. For all of the lives that are taken, they can never be replaced. But still Jaja chose to remember my face. Though I never lived like he wanted, I'm still mindful of what he taught me. So now I beg and plead, I'm on my bending knees. God, Father, you rescued me. I've got the scars to show. I daily made it along life's road. Cause when my life got dark, he was the only spark. He was the light at the end of the road. When I was a young boy, growing up in Augustown, we ate from the same pot. We were Indians all around. From Gola to Colorado Corner, from Rockers to Jungle 12 Tire, Bryce Hill to Dread Heights and River, all around. Yeah. And then the football ground became a battlefield, and my life seemed so surreal. People were falling all around, but you helped me to stand my ground.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Cocoa Chats with me. Again, your host, Marian Dozier of CocoWire.net, the wire.net, the website that provides news, events, and useful information to communities of color in Palm Beach County. That's CocoWire.net if you want to know what's happening here with us in Palm Beach County. And as we do on this show and on CocoWire.net, we will continue to tell the stories of our communities of the African diaspora, which, as you are aware, I'm sure, are African Americans, Caribbean blacks, and Native Africans, so that we all get a better sense of how rich and interesting our communities are. Here in Palm Beach County, though, the pandemic data keeps rising. Fallout from street protests continues. And coming up Monday, July 20th, though, will be the last day to register to vote in the upcoming primary election on August 18th. Primary elections are separated by political party. So when the general election happens on November 3rd, it's a competition between the Democrats and Republicans who won during the primary. Voter registration before that final race must be done by October 5th. Now, keep in mind, everyone, nearly 100 people are running for elective office that represents Palm Beach County at the county, state, and federal levels. So change can come if we vote. Now, to register to vote, contact the Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections at 561-650-6200 or visit the website at pbcelections.org. You can register online, and there's currently a push in Palm Beach County to focus on voting by mail. Or, if you happen to be in West Palm Beach on Saturday, you can make it happen at the Register to Vote Crab Boil, which will be held from 12 to 2 p.m. on this Saturday, July 18th, at the Salvation Army Northwest Community Center, which is down near City Place, which, you know, they're now calling Rosemary Square. And we'll talk about that another time. But we'll also hear about that event later on the show. Why later? Because today's guest is one of the Crab Boil event sponsors, and there's so much more to say about him. Okay? Jervonte Edmonds is the founder and CEO of Suits for Seniors, which, though it was just founded in 2015, has become the fastest growing youth preparedness program in the country. The 8-week life skills training and certification program for high school seniors teaches financial literacy, career exploration, positive self-image, and lots more. And then once the kids successfully finish the program, each student receives a crisply tailored suit. Mr. Edmonds created the nonprofit while he was in college, and once he graduated from FAU, Florida Atlantic University, in 2016, he worked for elected officials in the state at the state house and at the county level and volunteered all over the place. And because Mr. Edmonds is so well connected, his sponsors and mentors are all from the leadership classes in business, politics, and government, um, um, including the members of the Palm Beach County Commission, which unanimously named June Suits for Seniors Month in Palm Beach County in 2020 and 2019. Mr. Edmonds is also the author of Adventures of the Rich and Famous, a book that targets the young and teaches them that they can be what they want to be as long as they believe in themselves. The book is on Amazon's bestseller list. Okay, and speaking of lists, young everybody, I have one. He is also, and listen to this list. He is also the president of Palm Beach County Youth Young Black Progressives, an executive board member of the Palm Beach County Black Chamber of Commerce, an executive trustee of the Palm Beach North Chamber of Commerce, and he sits on the boards of the South Florida Fair, the Salvation Army, Sequel Academy, which is the juvenile prison in Palm Beach County, and he is also a member of Leadership Palm Beach County. Okay? Woo! And that's not even a complete list. And did I say this, everybody? Did I tell y'all that Mr. Edmonds is just 29 years old? Jervonte Edmonds, founder and CEO of Suits for Seniors. Welcome to Coco Chats. God bless you. Wow. And you are a wow.
Well, thank you, Ms. Doge. I appreciate it. I appreciate you giving me this time. I've known you, I was talking about it earlier, for about 4 years now, and you've always had a platform like this. And I'm just honored to be a part of it.
Oh, God bless you. God bless you. So, but listen, tell us, why did you create Suits for Seniors way back when? Why was that important to you?
Right, so just to kind of rewind a little bit, I'm from Titusville, Florida. And Titusville, Central Florida is completely different from South.
It is.
Right, so we're really more royal and country. Our only
And more Trumpian.
Yeah, a lot more Trumpian. I didn't know that growing up.
Yeah, yeah.
It's full of Republicans.
Yeah.
As you grew up, you learned about MIMS and just the history of the community. But I was fortunate to go to college at FAU. I had a lot of opportunities, but I missed big opportunities because I just didn't have the proper attire, and I just couldn't dress the part, and I didn't know how to dress the part. It wasn't until I went to Walmart and bought my first suit that it made me feel like I was capable of doing so much more.
Wow, really?
That's because where I'm from in Thailand, there's no mentors.
Ain't no black men in suits.
No black men in suits. And even you still gotta tell kids today, even though you're wearing a suit, you're not going to church, or you're not going to an interview, or you're not going to the courtroom. I wear a suit because I got a job. That's just a normal attire.
Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, he has on a suit right now. Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's the purpose of it. We want to give kids confidence to understand that they can be anything they choose to be, whether you need a suit or not. But we want to give them confidence.
But why was the suit so important in terms of what you wanted to accomplish?
I think that your first impression, the way you carry yourself, your image is the most important thing. People are so judgmental. People are looking to belittle people and find every flaw about you. It's very hard to find a flaw about a man in a suit. So, I mean, it's very hard to be stereotyped when you're in a suit. You don't see, and I hate to say it, but you don't see a lot of young black males getting shot in suits because it's hard to stereotype him as a criminal and dehumanize him when he's wearing a tailored suit.
Wow. That's a good point. Huh. So, but you're a young, successful man that everybody knows and respects, yet you are still concerned about these issues, that launched this Black Lives Matter movement. I'm just kind of curious, why is that? I mean, because you don't have those kinds of issues, I would imagine.
I would feel like I grew up with those issues, injustice, but it was also where I portrayed myself. I was trying to be a thug growing up. That was what everybody else was doing though. Like I always tell everybody, the best promoters in our community are the dope boys. They essentially are in the community showing the kids who got the money.
That's a good point.
They drive the nice cars.
Yep.
You don't live next door to a doctor or a lawyer to see that's what wealth can be for you.
Yep.
So
Good point.
Just like the community at one point in time. But our Black Lives Matter movement is so important and it's so much energy, but sometimes I feel like we're supposed to be going north, but we're going northeast or northwest.
In what sense? What do you mean?
Because we're fighting for civil rights, essentially. And that's
Which we already have.
Right.
But
we was fighting for that in 1964. And I think the thing that we have never fought for, what we did, but we've lost track of it, is money, economics. I need us to fight for land. That 40 acres and a mule.
okay.
I'm
Remember that?
I talked about reparations.
1868, they passed the bill for 40 acres in the mule. It carried on for about 4 or 5 years, and then they revoked it. So we need something similar to that. I heard North Carolina just issued reparations for their black folks, right? So people are talking about reparations, and I think we need to fight for land, money, assets, having company ownership, all this. Stop shooting me. You give the officer $1 million fine, he'll stop shooting black people.
Okay.
So let's put some money involved to everything, and people stop doing what they're doing.
That's really interesting. So, I mean, because you're not, and the thing that's most interesting about it to me is that, again, you benefit, I don't mean that, in a negative way, but, you benefit from the kinds of, these corporations and these, government agencies, and you benefit from all of them. Yet you agree that we need to push back against the system that they all represent.
So
even though you benefit from it.
Sponsored by Palm Beach Gardens Police and Fire.
Yeah, which I thought was really interesting because I don't know if you remember, Miss Jillian, but the Palm Beach Gardens Police Department, one of their members is the one that shot Corey Jones back in 2015. But anyway, that's another story. But go ahead.
Part of it. I believe that we created that partnership. I would say Corey Jones probably had a lot to do with that partnership. I didn't know Corey Jones in 2015.
Okay, right.
Didn't start to 2017, 28 with that partnership.
Yeah.
I would say just like in this time when things happen to black folks, people feel the need to try to make some type of impact. And I think they looked at our organization that was actually making impact in the black community, and that's why we joined together. And I think we worked together very well on kind of having those conversations with young black men in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
Why are black men getting shot? What are the police seeing to actually give them that superstition that black men are bad?
Always.
Have that direct conversation, and at the end of the day, the police end up recruiting the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you join the police force. So we're solving those issues.
Wow, I love that. And Palm Beach Gardens of all departments seems like some other ones that have
I'll tell you this: Palm Beach Gardens actually, I would say they are one to take the lead in most cases with training, reshaping how they deal with the community.
Huh.
I think more so, and I hate to say it, it's our sheriff departments, our Florida Highway Patrol, and I want to say they're all great men in every department. But I believe you get a lot of pushback when you talk about more departments who aren't controlled by local city officials, right? The Palm Beach Gardens, West Palm Beach, they have to answer to their mayor. Whereas the county, the sheriff's office, they answer to the county commission, but hey, the county commissioner gives 40% of their budget to the sheriff's office. So he already has so much power and control. It's hard to kind of have a checks and balance there. So I think Sheriff Bradshaw, I don't think he's a bad sheriff, but I think our sheriff department has room for improvement.
Yeah.
I think they're making strides to make improvement in their jail system and how they conduct themselves. But just having conversation with Deputy Sheriff Gauger, right? I mean, like me and him agree that
everybody.
I want to know these people when something goes down.
Yeah.
Going back to block by block community policing, looking at issues like that. So I mean, they're the #1 institution for mental health, so they are doing things good. But again, we got to take the good with the bad and try to improve it.
Just curious, have you ever had any problems with the police personally?
Of course, I'm black. I'm a black male. What?
Really?
I don't even drive with my top down anymore.
Wow.
I remember when I first got in my car, I was stunned. I had a tank top on. I didn't have no suit on. I had a tank top on and my top back. And they was like, oh, let me pull you over, right? Wasn't speeding, wasn't doing nothing. Let me just make sure it's your car.
Wow.
That's it.
That's your car.
Yeah. I mean, and that's just what it is.
Well, he didn't say, the officer didn't say that, but that was definitely clear.
It was clear. And why? Because, I mean, he let me go with a warning. But for what?
But what's one thing I always wonder about.
One of the printed warnings?
Yeah.
One thing I always wonder about, though, how much of interaction between a white police officer and a black person is our fault. Like, for example, when you got pulled over, what if you had said, "Why you pulling me over, white man? What did I do? I ain't did nothing."
Right.
And then that'll make him act a different way. Right. And sometimes I just wonder about that.
So they do have culturally inclusive training, learning about prejudice that they may have when people act their culture. I mean, and one thing is that we have to be accountable for that culture that we give. I mean, law enforcement, they have a authority, and we have to give them that respect. I mean, when officers come up, usually we first thing we ask, why are we getting pulled over? Why are you pulling me over?
Yeah.
Right? Instead of just, hey, officer, I mean, what can I do
How
for
are
you?
you?
Right?
Yeah, what
Start
can I
in
do?
a different tone.
Exactly.
We already starting on 10, and the officer got to react on 12 because that's just what he got to show that he authority. It's like your parents.
I've wondered about that.
So we have to do a better job. It's not just law enforcement. It's both parties that need work. And somebody got to be truthful and be like, yo, black folks, yo, keep it cool until we have to turn up, right? And if not, we'll handle it in court.
Yeah, so I had this conversation with Freedom Williams from CNC Music Factory like 2 weeks ago, talking about the interaction of us with police officers and stuff. And one thing Freedom pointed out was that they are also miseducated. So they're coming from an education system where they're looking at us based on what they were told, just like we're looking at them, but based on what they were told, what we were told. And we're coming at each other in the same direction of ignorance, from the same place of ignorance. So the training that you're talking about that they're doing, how deep does that go? And is that in place now? And is it in place now?
Locally.
So I used to work for the Criminal Justice Commission, and what they were doing is essentially having implicit bias trainings, essentially saying if he's black, he's not a criminal. Because their hair is a certain way doesn't mean that they want to be a rapper or they're trying to be these certain dynamics. So is it enough? No. But is it a start? It is. But it has to be on both parties. It has to be law enforcement learning that black people aren't criminals, that they're humans, and black folks learning that officers are authority and we have to respect them. Now, we all come in with our fists to one another. Once we actually open our hands and just listen to one another, I think we can come to a better terms. But we already have those
pre-existing notions.
Pre-existing notions of stereotypes that, hey, this white man got to be a redneck. He trying to hang me straight up.
And that's the only reason he pulled me over.
That's the only. In reality, I mean, hey, you probably was speeding. You probably went over 10 miles. So you just got to be aware.
All right. So we're gonna have change the subject for a minute, but tell us about your book, Adventures of the Rich and Famous, which was written for young people,
young folks,
like I think kindergarten through 6th grade.
Yes.
I think. Why'd you write it?
So, I mean, my overall goal is there's this thing called the school to prison pipeline. By the 3rd grade, they know whether they're going to put the kids in college or prison, right? So my thing is like, what's going to be the opposing pipeline, right? So my ideal is let it be elementary to career or success or entrepreneurship, right? So when I go talk to elementary kids, I always ask them, what you want to do when you grow up? I get princess, I'm going to be a dancer, I'm going to be an artist, I'm going to be a rapper, I'm going to be in the NFL, I'm going to be in the NBA. I got some kids on the other aisle saying, I'm going to be an anesthesiologist, I'm going to be a physical therapist, I'm going to be an ocean biographer. I'm like, hold on, this ain't going to keep happening, right? So I made the book so they can see black characters that look exactly like him, that are lawyers, doctors, judges, in the army as generals, right? At the highest level.
At the highest levels.
That's what I'm supposed to be, right? These black characters look, because when I grew up, I didn't have a lot of black books. I had a basketball book that was with black characters, but nothing that said be an entrepreneur, right? So this book says be a CEO. That's what you're supposed to do because you're black.
Now, and I know it's on the Amazon bestsellers list. I'm just curious, what are the local kids saying to you, the ones that are reading? As I've seen pictures of you, of course, millennial, on social media, with the little young people in the books. So what are you hearing from them? Do you feel like they're getting the message?
The local kids understand that being rich and famous is being a leader and doing something that's going to change the world. That's the whole purpose of Rich and Famous, to get them to rethink about what is rich and famous. They get it, because you have to stop them throughout the book and say, what does this mean? What do you think about it, right? There's quotes or stuff in the book that make you stop and think about. Like in the book, it'll say, you are made to be great, right? It says it on a billboard sign. So you stop and say, what does that mean? And the kid will tell you, well, I think I'm capable of doing anything. Like, okay, I see you young man reading this stuff. You gotta do that. So they get the book. I love doing book tours with the kids. It's amazing. The whole important thing is that black kids now want to read, and now they've seen a black author.
Okay.
So now they say, I can write a book too then. It's a black dude. I ain't never seen no black dude in a book.
Okay, and that brings me to another point. What are you hearing from your kids with regard to going back to school because of the you-know-what in the fall? Are you hearing that they want to go back, or are you hearing that they're like,
So you have a portion of kids who do not want to do online learning, period. I just talked to a young lady. She said, I'm not going back to college because I can't handle online learning. I'm just going to work, and I respect that. And then you have another group of kids saying this online learning is easy, but they still want that college experience. I'm not finna pay to have this online learning college experience, even if I'm good at it, right? So again, that's another group of kids who do not want to attend.
Wow, yeah.
And then you just got that 1/3 that say, I'm just going to get my degree, right? Because my mama got
I
the
don't
degree.
care where,
Yeah.
when, how, yeah.
So you got 2/3, and most of that 2/3 is 90% black.
Yeah.
They ain't trying to go back to school. So you're going to have a generation of us who miss college, a whole year of 100,000 black kids who supposed to be in college. So I ain't doing it. So we just lost a lot of human capital, I think, because there's not enough jobs. We're already 50% unemployed in our youth. So there's not enough jobs. So I'm thinking, what are we going to do to make sure these kids are healthy, going to feed themselves and not lead to crime and corruption for that?
So what's your preference there? I mean, what would you say for the kids? What's your thoughts?
So, I mean, the school district is doing online learning. I think we got to move with the path of what the bigger entity is doing is online learning. But I think we have to have tailored online platforms that are meant for black kids or kids who have low Wi-Fi or kids who just don't understand certain things or kids who have mental disabilities or health issues. We can't just come at it at a one-fold thing. The kids that go to Jupiter High School can't do the same thing as the kids in Boynton High School. Then you got to be aware of what platform you're using at both.
Okay. Now we've only got a few minutes left, so tell us about that Register to Vote Crab Boil event that's coming up on Saturday. That's free and open to the public. I know the League of Women Voters will be there to register them to vote, but what else will the public see?
So we have a lot of different sponsors. We have Celicia Smith Gordon. She's an attorney, a local attorney.
Oh yeah, I like her.
She's amazing. She has offices in West Palm Beach and even in the Glades. So
and then her husband is in public office too.
Her husband's the vice mayor of Haver Hill, and so she's running. We all are trying to vote squad. Excuse me if I said the name incorrect, but it's essentially to get black folks out to vote, right? And get black folks registered to vote and get our felons, or returning citizens back to vote. So she's offered this. She's our main title sponsor. We'll have masks with her logo on it. We also have Community Partners of South Florida, which is an amazing organization located in Riviera Beach. Essentially, they offer housing services. They offer so many solutions, whether it's free taxes. We're just going to have one-on-one Zoom sessions with them that's live.
Oh, okay.
And, I mean, they give you the opportunity to pay your it's either your first month rent or your down payment for your house. They'll take care of you.
Wow.
So we try to make sure black
they're
folks
gonna be there.
Get connected to houses. And then you have the BBIC, which is the Black Business Investment Corporation.
I had him on the show before too.
So Mr. White, Marlon White.
Yeah,
and
love
we're
him.
giving people opportunities to get those loans, get businesses, and really get that equity. So we're talking about housing, voting, and businesses, right? So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to inspire everybody in all facets. And make sure our community can get money.
Yeah, and I noticed too that you had on the flyer and stuff, y'all were saying that there were going to be conversations too.
So the conversation is just making sure that you understand who these people are in office. Do you know what your state attorney does? When somebody gets shot, a black man gets shot, it's your state attorney's job to prosecute him.
Okay.
And if you don't know who he is, which is State Attorney Dave Ehrenberg, which is a great guy, supporter of Suits for
And
Seniors.
I'm sure you know him.
I know who he is. You need to know who he is.
Yeah.
When black folks get locked up, it's your sheriff that's dealing with that situation. You need to know who Sheriff Bradshaw is. So we just educate people. We ain't telling people who to vote for, what to vote for. We just need to know who these people are that has so much power. The state budget is $94 billion.
That's right.
I need a piece of that. And our community needs a piece of that. So you need to know how you get a piece of that.
Yep. So, but one thing, why are you connecting voting to a crab boil?
I ain't gonna lie. I think black folks love crabs. I ain't gonna lie.
I ain't had it in a while, so that's why I was thinking about going.
I had some on Saturday.
I came up with the idea, and Chef Board, I came up with the idea because, again, we needed to vote, and I knew black folks love crabs. And Chef Boris is, I think, one of the most amazing chefs in Palm Beach County, and he's a black man that wants to work with black men and promote each other without caring about the title, the ego. So I definitely want to shout out Chef Boris because it's because of him we work together to get this sponsorship together. We ain't crying over money, who gets the name rights or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
We just said, hey, let's get these people to vote. And it's only certain type of black men that don't care about egos and titles, and I respect and love them for it.
Oh, all right. So tell us with our last few minutes, Jervonte Edmonds, Tell listeners how they can get in touch with you or find out more about the crab boil.
All right, so just real quick, there is still money available on the SBA. They're still giving out money in emergency loan assistance. Get that money. They're giving out grants, $10,000. Make sure you get your money. There are still people who are giving discounts on all different services because of COVID. And right now, if you Black, this is the perfect time to ask and make some demands of what you want, whether it's a promotion or that grant you want or that whatever you need. This is the time to ask with some intelligence and a plan. If you need help with a plan, this is my information, and this is my information for whatever you need. Suits for Seniors, the crowd boil, all things possible. It's 321-604-7590 is my personal cell phone. Feel free to text me. And find us on Facebook at Suits for Seniors, SUITSFORSENORS. Excuse me. It's a long night. Suits for Seniors, though. You can find us on all platforms.
Yep. And on his website, which is suitsforseniors.org. Yes. And say that telephone number one more time, sir, a little slower.
Of course. It's 321-604-7590. If you need help getting money or financial assistance or starting a business, I'm here for it. I want Black people to win, thrive, and eat this year. Ms. Dozier, I got to say thank you. You've been doing this for years, and you need so much more credit and awards and accolades for having a family and doing all the things you do. So you are an amazing mother, amazing host, and amazing at all the things you do. So thank you for giving me time. And thank you as well.
And you know, I appreciate you so much in what you're doing and why you're doing it and what you're accomplishing. It's wonderful. It really is. And to think that you're a millennial. Yeah, he's only 29 years old.
We're taking over.
And on that note, we will close Cocoa Chats for the day. Thank you all for tuning in. It's me, Marion Dozier of CocoWire.net.
Where do you go? Down to need my love, baby. Why can't you come on and let us play? When are you going to come my way? What sort of things they've been telling you? I got to stop them from compelling you, girl. They just won't stop me from getting you. Give me a try, 'cause I know that things will be great. Me, oh my, don't deny, true love never dies, only creates. I'm gonna take you right there. Love for a lifetime. I'm gonna make your life so clear, girl. Gonna make you mine. I'm gonna take you right there. Love for a lifetime. I'm gonna make your life so clear. Gonna make you mine. Tell no lies, don't you cry, no goodbye. Just won't work. Stars in the sky, love so nice. Look in your eyes, girl. So much you worth. I'm not stupid, I'm not a fool. Know what I'm doing, I'm into school. Keep a firm grip on what you hold. She's more valuable than a pot of gold. I'm gonna take you there. Oh love, for life.